Someone by the name of Princess Lion left this hilarious comment on one of my videos, and she said, I just broke up with a Scorpio demon. And for some reason, I heard that name and I was like, I'm just gonna run with that because it was just very apt. And if you know, you know, whenever there is an astrological observation that truly hits the nail on the head, like it rings true, it holds water, it's usually because we could trace it to something in the astrological symbolism that is actually valid. So that's what I'm going to do in this video. I'm going to explain to you why it is that Scorpios are so bad sometimes. So if we follow the root of the observation that Scorpios can sometimes be downright demonic, we have to take apart the sign into all of its different elements. So Scorpio is a fixed water social sign that is ruled by Mars and has association with Pluto. So you probably already know that Scorpio is a water sign. This is where the feelings, the love, the emotions come into play. It is a water sign that is fixed. The fixed element is really what makes it so static and so strong in its convictions. But what we often ignore or forget, I even have forgotten this at times, is that Scorpio, because of its position in the zodiac, it is a social sign. But Scorpio is a social sign that is ruled by Mars. Mars is a planet of war, aggression, passion. It's also associated with Pluto. Some people would say it's ruled by Pluto. I don't use modern rulership, I use traditional rulership, but I do see a strong association between Scorpio and Pluto. And Pluto is the prince of darkness. It's associated with Hades. Pluto is Hades, right? And so we're talking about hell, we're talking about darkness, war, passion, aggression. And if you just think about that concept alone, you'll realize why it is that Scorpios have this war and tension within themselves, because just at the same time as they are social, they have that need, that desire. Scorpios get mad when I say this. They want and need to be part of somebody else. They want to be together with somebody else. At the same time, they're also fighting it because they have that Mars nature, that aggression, that passion. Mars really literally represents separation, cutting. So you combine the fact that they're social and that they're a water sign, these two things want them to melt with somebody else, want to bring them together with another person, but they're also of a Mars nature. So this is what makes them so conflicted. And it's really that inner conflict that can bring about this demonic nature, this darkness that people talk about when they're talking about dark Scorpio or negative Scorpio. And Scorpios are dealing with a wound that runs very deep inside of them, that is a wound of rejection and abandonment. Because if you think about it, remember, we have the Mars going on with the water at the same time. And water is emotion, and water wants to bind. Water wants people to be together, wants affection, wants love. But they are Mars. So this is essentially creating that symbolism of rejection, of being left, being cast out. So they have this feeling, this wound inside of them that they're going to be rejected or they're going to be abandoned. And essentially, anytime anything triggers this wound, depends where along their path they are with in terms of healing, in terms of their maturity, their emotional maturity, what experiences they've had. But essentially anything that rubs that wound is going to reignite it. And then that is what's going to turn on that demon that Princess Lion was talking about. And really depending on the planet involved is how comfortable the person will be with this sort of demon nature of Scorpio. Because there are planets that are more comfortable with displaying this kind of behavior. Your masculine planets are going to be more comfortable, like the Sun and Mars. And then we have the Moon and Venus that don't really show this type of behavior, but they're still attracted to it. And they're receptive to this kind of behavior because the feminine planets, Venus and the Moon, they are more receptive rather than active. And that's all I mean whenever I'm talking about masculine and feminine. That's what we're talking about in astrology when we mention masculine and feminine. So even if the slight that was done against them was subtle, they'll still linger in their feelings because they're a fixed sign. Fixed energy likes to remain. It just is forced to remain wherever it is. And we're talking about fixed water, fixed feelings. So they will stay in their feelings for quite some time. And it's going to take them a while to kind of move out of that. And sometimes they could kind of get stuck there and not move there for years at times. So really when it comes to Scorpios and whatever level of development they're at, It really depends on what person you're meeting. It depends on when along their journey you're meeting them, how much work they've had to do before. Have they had their heart broken before? Have they been in a close relationship? Have they even been shown love before? Sometimes Scorpios can be so reclusive. Remember, they go into their little caves. They can be so reclusive and so antisocial that they don't allow themselves to soften up long enough for somebody to actually show them love. And a Scorpio that has never been loved truly before, that is a person who's going to be operating from the demon nature of Scorpio, because they are still in that dark view of the world, that the world is a dark place, people are going to take advantage of you, and I'm here to protect myself. That can be kind of like the negative Scorpio mentality when they haven't been shown kindness and love. Depending on what planet it is, the sun is not very reflective. Scorpios would be reflective because of the fact that it's Scorpio, and Scorpio wants to go deep and wants to investigate. But the sun is more of an active planet. The sun doesn't sit there and think about things. The sun is a doer, right? Different people turn on different parts of who you are. And if somebody rightfully kind of questions you or pushes back whenever you're behaving in this demonic sort of negative, ugly way, it's just going to confirm the Scorpio's view that, oh, look, see, like, people don't want me. I'm going to be rejected. I'm going to be hurt. See, like, I just acted up a little bit and she's leaving me. Or you see, I acted up a little bit and he's leaving me. This proves that I'm unlovable. This proves that there's no real love in the world. So if you've had an experience with a Scorpio who is absolutely negative and hateful, which yes, they can be, they absolutely can be that way, know that they're just they're not far along in their journey. And I think we should have compassion for people like that, because they're really shutting themselves off from the greatest gift that anybody could be given, which is love, right? So again, I always advocate for compassion. I have had my own negative behaviors and experiences, and I am grateful for the people who had patience for me. So this is why I have patience for others, and why I advocate that we treat each other kindly, because we're all on a freaking path of development. And when you are shown kindness on your journey, you're more likely to grow from it. If you'd like a video on Scorpio and their healing journey, let me know in the comments, because I have opinions and research on that. But other than that, remember the Buddhist aphorism that says, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. I'll see you in the next video.